Hello, my name is Matthew Lambert, and this is my presentation on helping students realize their learning norms, also titled A Key to Building the Successful Classroom. So today I'm going to go over those 10 expectations that every teacher should be addressing and what we would look at to help those students realize their learning norms. First of all, relationships. This is expectation number 1. Strong relationships provide a strong foundation for student engagement, belonging, and learning. First, let's talk about care. It's very important. If the student knows we care, we can expand that care and we can challenge growth by doing so. Support your student. Provide support in everything they do, and that will foster that relationship in a positive way. And also, share the power. So many times teachers have a tendency to be on a power trip and tell the students exactly what to do and don't take any advice or any criticism from them. But by expanding possibilities and sharing the power, that relationship will become much stronger. Expectation number 2, relevance. Make the learning relevant. Personal relevance is as vital to the learning brain as it is to the person learning. I appreciated this quote from Bernard as, it really tells us that by making that information relevant to them, they are going to enhance the learning process. Fresh. Use suspense and keep it fresh. Keep the information fresh and relevant to them. Make it student directed. Make sure that information is relevant to what they perceive that something is important to them, and make it student directed and connect it to their lives and what they know. That's especially important when you get to know your students and you can find that information that will be relevant to their lives, relevant to what they're interested in. Expectation number 3, time. Students should be able to develop skills and explore knowledge whenever and wherever is best for them. So by doing time, it empowers students. Help them be in charge of their learning. Secondly, project-based learning is a wonderful way to incorporate time with these different projects that the students can, spend their time in the way that they see fit and the way they would like it done, and that gives them the power to do so. Also, motivation. Students will be motivated by witnessing the achievement of their peers. In this article from Digital Promise, this was a key takeaway that I took from that, how the students, by witnessing these achievements of the different classmates, of their peers, they're going to think, hey, I can do this, and they'll take the time necessary to do so. And then expectation number 4 is the timing. Bold tells us, because we believe that every child learns at a different pace, our classrooms are set up to support effective individualized learning with teachers taking on the facilitator role. Personally, being a special education instructor, timing is essential to every day as a part of my teaching process, because I have many students that learn many different levels, many different speeds, and in many different ways. So timing is extremely important. It must be teacher supported. We must support those different types of learning, and peer supported. And then finally, self-learning. These were 3 characteristics taken from an article from Bold that I read, how by having the timing teacher supported, and then by having them work with their peers and self-learning, these are 3 ways that we can incorporate timing as a wonderful expectation. Expectation number 5, which is one that I really enjoy, is the expectation of play. Fred Rogers, play is often talked about as if it were a relief from serious learning. But for children, play is serious learning. And isn't this true? I see this every day when, we'll pull out a board game that is a phonics board game, or, math multiplication facts that we play a game with. By incorporating this play, the learning is just enhanced incredibly. One of the key points is you want to explore. Play gives the children the opportunity to explore their learning. It promotes self-confidence when you play with another student, another classmate. Also, it promotes creativity, helps the child be creative in the play process, and that will help them be engaged, and it will further enhance their learning and connect that learning to the different subjects in which they need to improve on. Of course, it develops social skills. We know this. You see it out on out on a playground even, by children playing together, and they are really taking part in the social aspect of that. And finally, the third point is it improves memory, language, and symbol recognition, and it helps with stress management as well. By playing, it helps these children, develop that management of stress and how to deal with that on a better basis. Expectation number 6, practice. Gray tells us if students are going to remember what to do or how to do something, they must have an opportunity to try it on their own, sometimes multiple times. By having a child practice their learning instead of just do the learning, let's assess it, let's test it, and that's it, and we move on, that doesn't transfer to their long-term memory. However, by having them practice, it will be transferred into their long-term memory. They will make those applications in the practicing part. Mastery. Deep and sustained practice promotes mastery. And we can see that at any time in any type of skill or objective that we are trying to achieve. By practicing it, we become better. And then finally, correction. Practice helps for self-correction. If a skill is practiced on numerous times, then the student can achieve better results by understanding, oh, this is where I made a mistake because I remember from doing this last time because I've practiced this skill, so maybe I need to go back and correct that. Expectation number 7, choice. Parker, Novak, and Bartel states, giving students real choices in the classroom can boost their engagement and motivation, allowing them to meet their individual learning needs. It promotes autonomy through having a sense of choice. It gives them the power. It gives them the feeling that, yeah, I have that choice to do that, and I'm going to make this choice. And when they see those great results, it enhances their learning incredibly. Then the second step, of course, is it promotes competence. That they are going to do things right. They're going to do things more correctly if we give them those real choices in the classroom. And finally, it connects their learning. They can relate their learning to their personal interest by telling, giving an assignment and say, let's give you a choice in how you would like to do this. However, this is the outcome that we want to happen. But by giving them that choice, they can relate it to their personal interest and find a way to learn more beneficially. Expectation number 8. Authenticity. The best way to set up your class for a full year of success is by creating an authentic learning environment. That's what Bradbury states from 2016. He gives 3 ways in doing this, and it deals with a lot of technology. So when I was researching this article, I thought, wow, this is really great. So I wanted to share it. He talks about the student creation of podcasts. Podcasts are so easy to develop and so easy to do. By making that learning authentic to them and giving them those tools to create a podcast, to hear themselves, how wonderful would that be? Finally, publishing, online publishing. There's many different forms of online publishing as far as Kahoot, other programs as well that the students can publish their work. How wonderful to give them that power and have them engaged by showing that authentic work and having their work uploaded into an online forum. And finally, we talked about this before, most importantly, digital citizenship. By having it authentic, it will promote better and a greater understanding of digital citizenship. Expectation number 9, extremely important one, challenged. Young learners are capable of a lot more than we give them credit for. Rather than making things easy, it's important we use the right level of challenge. Personally, this has been something that I have struggled with being a first-year special education teacher, is how much do I challenge these students and how much can I do? But I have found each student takes a different level of challenge, but if you find that level, great success can occur. What it does is by asking and challenging them, they can ask open questions. It lets them think. We can learn more about our students in the turn. Also, it encourages sharing of opinions of that sharing that the students will be more challenged. And finally, it provides differentiation tasks and it gives them choices. Again, that's so important with collaboration, with giving them choices. By challenging them, the learning will be enhanced. Expectation number 10, application. Instead of promising students that today's lessons will be important in their lives some days, why not help them apply what they're learning to tackle real issues now? Came from Boss 2017. Project-based learning, that's the key. And I see this in many different classrooms, as well as my classroom in my school district, that we must enhance the project-based learning, make more real-life applications so the students' learning will be enhanced. If we apply that knowledge to real-world settings and real-world issues, it will make them want to learn and be motivated to learn. I think an important way to do this, I have many students that are gamers that like to game. Well, if I tailor that learning to a specific game that they're interested or something to that effect, they really get motivated. Finally, standard correlation. This assignment correlated with the standard as I was able to reflect on, communicate about, cultivate, and model professional dispositions and norms, collaboration that support the educational success and well-being of each student and adult. And the standard was extremely relevant as I began to assess the expectations that I should instill in my classroom as my future endeavors as an administrator. The assignment was relevant to my learning, as it is my job as a future administrator to ensure learning and success for every student. I must be able to address the norms and expectations that my teachers have of every student, and furthermore, I must be able to put the expectations into practice and make sure that learning can be tailored to each and every student. In addition, I will continually assess and monitor instructions to make sure that my educators are upholding to this standard. Finally, as I reflected on the assignment, I realized that there are other things and other procedures that I can incorporate right now into my classroom. I realize that I'm at an advantage in being a special education teacher because I have a small class size and I feel I know my students very well. I strive to begin projects and instruction that can be tailored to their interests and desires, therefore ensuring that a higher level of learning can and will occur. So I thank you for listening. I will close with my references that I used. I wanted to do research and kind of back that up while doing this presentation. I found it very important and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.